So for starters, you're gonna have 1 year of satellite radio free, and it's already activated. Now with this 8.4 UConnect, you're able to jump to whatever station you want by typing it in, by using tune. You can also pause live radio by hitting replay, hit the pause button. Now it'll record for 2 hours. After 2 hours, it stops recording and it'll start playing it kind of like a TiVo will. Now, if you wanted to go back to live radio, just hit replay and it brings you back to live radio. To save a preset, if you have a certain station you want to save, all you do is you press and hold up here on the top, the corresponding number, hold it down, it flashes and saves your preset for you. Now also with this truck, if you hit controls, you're going to have all the options for your heated seats, your vented seats, your heated steering wheel. Also has an automatic rear dimmer, your backup camera, you can view the tailgate camera, also jump back to your cargo camera. So if you would have a fifth wheel, you'd be able to guide your truck in without getting out. Nice. Through controls, for the passenger side, your heated seats are here, high, low, and off. Same for vented. And then for the driver's side, the heated steering wheel is on or an off setting. For your climate, you have full control on the radio screen itself. Also shortcut buttons down here. The only time you have to use the screen is to change where the air blows, because there's no button down here for that option. Right. It is dual climate, so if you were to adjust your side, it'll adjust the passenger side. Unless you adjust this side first, then it separates the temperature. Do you have any questions on that?
No.
No, you're good?
No, I'm good.
All right, now for the navigation. It's a Garmin platform, so if you've used a Garmin, it's very, very similar. If you're wanting to go to a house address, you hit where to, type in the address, follow these steps through the city. Change state. Change your state first. United States, Arizona. And you would type in your street name, which we'll just type in a random one. And then you follow your house number.
The weight is being calculated.
Now it also has live traffic updates, and that's all for 5 years. It'll also have where it'll reroute you in case there is an accident, and it also notifies you when there is an accident.
Got a wandering eye.
Yeah. It usually grabs, but it's not. Alright, we'll go back to that. Now you go into options, you can view your turn list. So if you do have an accident, it'll actually reroute you automatically without you having to okay it. Now to stop your detour, hit stop on the main menu screen, and you can start all over again. So where to, you can do a point of interest. Now you can follow the gas station, and it'll give you your options of all the stations that are nearby you. Or you can actually type in where you want to go. So for example, I use Walmart because there's so many of them. And it gives you all the Walmarts in a 15-mile radius.
Nice.
Now for the apps, you're going to have a few shortcuts that you can add to your bottom bar here. If you wanted to reorganize this that's easier for your needs, all you got to do is press and hold, and then you can drag and drop. So
it's awesome.
Now these options here, like backup camera, cargo camera, those are all found in controls. So if you need to set one of those down, you just press controls and you can find them all in there. Now when you set up your UConnect access trial, you're going to have Pandora, Slacker, iHeartRadio, and AHA. That'll link up to your app once you have it. So if you do have these for radio music, you can actually stream all your playlists from the radio without having to use your cell phone. Also has Yelp as well. Now this truck does have a Wi-Fi hotspot. Now this is an additional charge, but it's not a reoccurring payment. You buy it as you need it.
Do you know any of the pricing?
Not for because it comes in different plans. I do know for 30 days unlimited data, it's $35.99 a month.
Okay.
But anything below that, it does change. Now to find where for your XM subscriptions, you have Travel Link, which will have your satellite radio, which is free for a year, real-time traffic, and then your Travel Link, which is this app itself. This will have fuel prices that are in your area. So it'll give you the closest place and give you the price, so it's wherever it's cheaper.
I'm wondering if that's... Oh, you can change fuel type. Oh,
Correct,
right.
yep.
There we go.
So you can go in, do fuel type. Since this is diesel, you can change the diesel. And now it'll give you all the diesel price points.
Nice.
And if you have certain stations that you have as a favorite, you can actually click on one and you can add with a star, and that'll put it into your favorites.
Hell yeah. Quick trip for sure.
That
Right.
fuel pricing is way cool.
Yeah.
I'm stealing that idea.
Oh, and also this one's pretty cool too. So this one's gonna actually have, if you're traveling, you can actually see all the movie theaters. Go to the ones that are close to you. You can press on this one. It gives you what's showing, and hit info, and it tells you what it's about.
No shit.
And it also gives you show times.
Wow.
You can also search for a movie itself instead of going that way, and it'll tell you where it's playing at, and also tell you about it. So there's the 2 theaters that it's playing at.
Nice.
Also has sports where you can set up your favorite teams. And he's pretty much every sport that's on ESPN you're going to find in this radio. So ice hockey, NHL, the Western Conference, event schedule. It'll give you a breakdown. So let's go to the 6th. Here's the teams that played. You can click on team info. It'll give you the last game if they won. The next game is Thursday, March 9th, the time and who they're playing. Now you can also, if you have a favorite team, you can add that team. So whenever they're on the XM channels, it'll actually notify you and allow you to tune in. And this is included for 5 years. So for the next 5 years, you're good. The next one is the weather. So you're gonna have weather forecast, your 3 and 6 hour, your 5 day. You can also change your location, and you can add different locations in there so you can view other states. Now, same thing, you can also, for skiing, it'll give you these options here, how much snow there is.
Eddie's gonna like that.
And you can also change the state and view other places if you go skiing a lot. Now, the options you add to your favorites, so your favorite team, the weather, it'll all go into the same favorite file. So movie theater, sports teams, that's it. Now, your weather map, this will have a breakdown of storms coming in. The whole US map, 600 miles away, 300 miles, or 100 miles. And it updates. And you can change on the side here, storms, the fronts, radar. So you can view
these storm chasers. We could
exactly right.
track, like tornadoes and stuff.
Exactly.
That'd be fun to do one day.
Just make sure your insurance covers that.
Probably not.
Now for the XM traffic, this will have for all the traffic events in the area. So it tells you here Camelback Road is congested, 700 feet, so right in front of us.
That's weird. Camelback Road congested?
Yeah, right. Shocker. There's an accident on Camelback Road. So it tells you 35th Avenue. There's a car right there. Now, if you set a route and it interferes with any of these passageways, it's going to automatically reroute you. So you're not going to be stuck in traffic.
Nice.
Alright, so that's pretty much it for the UConnect until we set up your account.
Okay.
Other things on here, you're going to have your back window to open that up. Push that down, and that opens up the far back window.
Hell yeah.
Now, the sunroof controls are these 3 buttons here. You're going to have auto back. And that'll open up with the cover. Now, when you close it, you're going to have to close this by hand.
Okay.
If you hit vent, it'll also close it and lift the back of the sunroof up to let fresh air in.
Cool.
and then just press auto forward to close it from there. You do have the home link, so you can program your garage door to it. You're gonna hold 1 and 3 down at the same time, and it's gonna, it should be, these lights will light up when you're in front of your garage door. Once you're doing that, you're gonna use your clicker and hold it 5 to 6 inches away from this part right here, and it's gonna, at the same time, whenever these start flashing, let go of the button you want to program, and at the same time press the buttons, and then after this starts flashing fast, it goes slow, you get out and press the memory button on the back of your garage.
Okay.
Alright, so
Good
now,
thing I don't have a garage.
oh perfect. This also has a power inverter, so you can plug in straight from like your house chargers right into your truck. Also shortcut buttons for your heated and cooled seats and your heated steering wheel are also down here. This has a built-in brake controller. The plus and minus, they're actual buttons, but you see on this screen when you press the plus button, it changes the gain.
Okay.
Now when your trailer's hooked up, this is what you use to test the trailer brakes to see how much it pulls the truck by sliding this, so you can get your gain dialed in perfect. These top options here, this is your traction control. You press it one time, it turns it off. It also notifies you up here. Your tow haul, if you're pulling stuff and you need this, what that's going to do is take away a gear so you have longer gearing. Diesel exhaust brake. If you press this one time, it turns the diesel exhaust brake on full.
Okay.
You press it a second time and it turns on auto.
Okay.
And then a third time turns it off. Now you have your front and rear parking sensors. So basically you would turn the rear off if you were pulling a trailer, because when you back up, it's going to sense you're going to hit something. So to stop the beeping,
Gonna beep. It
correct.
says it.
So you just press that one time, it turns off and it notifies you up here.
Okay.
Now if you don't like the park sense at all, you can turn the front off at the same time, but that one kind of comes in handy with this big truck, especially if you're turning or parking into a parking lot.
Right. Now, do the front come on automatically?
They're always on, correct.
Okay.
So it's basically a low speed, so if you're on the freeway and you're coming behind a car, it is not going to notify you.
Right.
It's when you're driving within under 5 miles an hour, they activate so they can sense things in front of the vehicle.
Gotcha.
Now this truck is 4-wheel drive and it is on the fly. So if you wanted to go to 4-wheel drive lock, you can turn that one click. It'll flash up here and it finishes your 4-wheel drive shift.
And that's in drive as well?
It's in drive, it's in park as well. So you
just-
can do it
just
all the
in
way.
park.
Yeah, but you can do it in park, drive, reverse, and
Oh,
neutral.
really? Wow.
The only one you have to be in neutral is for 4-wheel drive low.
Okay.
Now if you're not in neutral for that, so if I put it back in park and I go to change it to 4-wheel drive low, it'll notify you to complete the shift, put it in neutral.
Oh, okay.
Now this neutral button here, that's used for flat towing this vehicle. So if you're going to pull it behind an RV or to get it towed by a tow truck, you put this in neutral, you press and hold this in, there it goes. And now if I put it in drive,
Nothing.
nothing. So back to neutral, and then you push that button down again, and it jams into gear.
Cool.
Then you put it back in the park, and then
The only real use for that is flat towing.
flat towing, correct. Or if you were to get towed by a tow truck and they have to pick up the front of the truck,
Right.
and it's not a flatbed,
Right.
they can tow you that way without disengaging your rear drive line.
Okay.
This does it all for you. Now, since this is a diesel truck, if you turn the cruise control on while you're in park, you hit the set button, it raises your idle up higher. That's used for warming the engine up, or if you have a fifth wheel, you can use that to charge your batteries.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you hit the plus button, which is resume plus, you can adjust your idle all the way to 1500 RPMs, and after that, it won't go any higher.
Okay.
And then to cancel out of that, you gotta hit the brake pedal, or you hit cancel and turn the cruise off. It'll turn that setting off.
And I'm sorry, to turn it on,
Turn the cruise on,
and then
It's
hit
set.
Okay.
and
Okay.
it kicks the idle up. Now on this truck, there's 3 buttons behind the steering wheel on each side.
Right.
So on the right side, the up and down part will adjust your volume. The button in the middle is going to change your source. So AM, FM, and satellite. And then if your phone's paired up, it'll also go to your cell phone for Bluetooth.
Okay.
On the left side, the up and down are going to change to the next station. And the button in the middle will go through your presets once you have those established. And then on your shifter here, you have a plus and minus. So if you're in drive, you can hold the minus down. It'll let you shift manually up from 1 through 6. And if you want to go back to drive, you press and hold the plus button, and it takes you back to drive. On the far left side over here is your light switch control. So you do have auto headlights. With this setting being on, they're going to come on at night and turn off in the daytime. If you want to override that, you turn it to this setting to turn your headlights on. Okay. If you push this in, that controls your fog lights. Now, on the third brake light for your cargo light, pushing that button in will brighten up the bed at nighttime for you.
And those are LEDs back there.
Correct, yep. This dial switch here, when your headlights are on, you can use this to adjust the brightness of all your gauges. Now, if you go all the way over to the right, it'll keep your dome lights on when the doors are shut. So all the way over, and then one click to the left.
Okay.
Now, this does have power mirrors. Lift this up. Your power mirrors are on the side here, so you can do L and R, left mirror and right mirror. Use this pad here to adjust them.
Okay.
It does have power folding mirrors. They fold in at the same time. Now the front two windows are one touch auto. You press them one time and they drop, and the same you come back up.
Okay.
Also, your truck is equipped with tow mirrors, so they actually kick out and they lift up to extend.
Moose power.
Exactly.
I know all about that.
All right, so now these 4 buttons here will control your gauge cluster. So on the RPM gauge, you have your menu icons. The up and down are going to change that setting. So here we have your vehicle info. We'll have your tire pressure, your transmission temp, oil life percentage. So this is based on mileage. So 5,000 miles will be your first one, and after that will be recommended service by the service department. Your fuel filter. This is usually done every 15,000 miles or once a year, but you actually have a gauge that'll let you know. Your battery voltage as well. Also have your exhaust and turbo PSI. And then a breakdown of all your gauges. And total engine hours, idle and driving. Hit the down arrow again, you're going to have your fuel economy. We'll have your average miles per gallon and also your current. So when you're driving this, it'll have 2 bars. One will move while you're driving, and the other one will be your average for that tank. If you wanted to reset that, all you do is press and hold the right arrow. It'll reset your average. Your trip A and trip B are pretty standard features. The same way to reset that is you hold the right arrow, and that resets all the settings. Now this next one is for your trailer brake. So they correspond with these 2 buttons down here. This will have mileage for your trailer only when it's plugged in. So it'll count all the miles for you. And then you also have a sub menu. Hit the right arrow. It'll have a percentage base with your gain. So once you have your trailer gain hooked up, it'll actually give you a percentage when you brake. Now the next one is your audio features. It's for these 3 buttons behind the steering wheel on each side. Will let you see what's playing. Now the next setting is for your messages. So if you get low tire light, change oil, or an out headlight or out tail light, it'll actually prompt you and tell you which one's out on the screen. Now this next setting will be your screen setup. If you use the right arrow to enter it, you can actually customize and add gauges to the screen. So we'll scroll down to upper gauge. Now you can add like your transmission temp up there in the top left corner, oil temperature, your oil life percentage, or your trailer brake, current miles per gallon, fuel filter, and your turbo boost and exhaust brake. Now you can also add the same gauges on the lower side. So you can add those 2 there. Now also on the lower right corner, you can add the compass down there, but it is up on the top left. You have a few other options you can add down here. So your range to empty, your average, current, and your trailer brake.
And the gauges are just on the left side.
Correct. So you're gonna only have gauges on this side here.
Okay.
And then back to your speedometer. Now you can change this to kilometers and miles per hour by pressing the right arrow. And that brings you back to that.